Quiet.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
can you state
She's asking
categorically,
a question. Don't
Mr.
be
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be.
Can
No,
you
I'm
give
not
us a
going to give you a
question?
question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to Dave versus the MSM. Today's topic is going to be on that goat rodeo of the impeachment hearing that's been occurring this past week. I hope you'll join us this Sunday on the Operation Freedom Radio Show. It's free. All you have to do is go to davejanda.com, go to the listen button right in the middle toward the top of the homepage, hit that, you'll go right to Wham Talk 1600 streaming service and hit the play button. We're there for you Sunday from 2 to 5 Eastern. It's a live show, great guests, I believe in-depth analysis you'll never get through the bought-off lamestream fake media. This Sunday, we're going to have a number of different guests on a number of different topics. On the financial front, what's really going on with Adriana Reed. On the climate front, if you will, with the great Joe Bastardi. On the coup front, and on the human trafficking front, investigative reporter Patrick Howley. On the healthcare freedom front, Dr. Jane Hughes, a great healthcare policy analyst. And we're going to be talking about the drug cartels with former undercover DEA agent Bob Mazur. Bob was the quarterback, the lead of the team that brought down Pablo Escobar. I hope you'll join us Sunday, 2 to 5. Go to davejanda.com, that's Eastern time, and just hit the listen button. As far as the hearing is concerned, probably the best way to describe it, and you've heard me use this term before, is a goat rodeo. It was an absolute sham when it comes to the Constitution, and when it just comes to ethics, and when it comes to just what this country should be about and what this country's foundations were built upon. Ron Paul, about 15 minutes into this sham, this goat rodeo, called it. He said, quote, "It's a kangaroo court," end quote. And I believe the reason why he said that, just let's look at a couple of things. I took some notes to try to save you the time from wasting watching it. I did. And here's what I took away. In Schiff's opening statement, he claimed, quote, he didn't know the whistleblower's identity, end quote. What? Here he goes again. The first time, when he had this hearing in public, he was just making up what President Trump said that was completely different than the transcript. And here he goes again. It's a known fact, documented fact, that at a minimum, a number of members of his staff not only met, but coached the gossip blower, not a whistleblower, as we've outlined before. But there are other individuals that have said Schiff himself met with the gossip blower. Schiff then threatened to initiate ethics investigations against any Republican who named the anti-Trump leaker during the impeachment inquisition. First, how can he do that if he doesn't know who the so-called whistleblower is, right? Oh, yeah. But remember, this gossip blower has taken out a GoFundMe page. So, oh yeah, we have to preserve his privacy. We have to preserve for protection. Yet the guy takes out a GoFundMe page? Give me a break. Jim Jordan, Devin Nunes, John Radcliffe were phenomenal during the hearing. Jim Jordan to Schiff. Quote, of the 435 members of Congress, you are the only member who knows who the gossip blower is, and your staff is the only staff who has had a chance to talk with that individual. We would like that opportunity. When might that happen? This is after Schiff states, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who this person is. John Radcliffe then asked, well, Schiff, how much time Adam Schiff is going to grant himself before other members can be recognized, can ask questions. And what was Schiff's answer? Quote, it depends, end quote. And you wonder why Ron Paul called it a kangaroo court or why I called it a goat rodeo? The framers of the Constitution are spinning in their graves. Then their star witness was this Bill Taylor, okay? You talk about a pompous, arrogant jerk. This guy is the cream of the crop. Truly deep state. He was the charge d'affaires of the U.S. Embassy in Kiev in Ukraine. He was the, quote, star witness, Schiff's star witness. He admitted that the Democrats' impeachment plot is based on nothing but hearsay. Here's the direct quote. Here's what he said. This is what he's bringing to the table. Quote, "What I can do here for you today is tell you what I heard from people," end quote. In other words, this is all hearsay. I have no firsthand knowledge. I'm another gossip blower. And after he started going through this long, drawn out opening statement, this Taylor character, this is from Sean Davis from The Federalist that I believe hits it right on the head. "As best I can tell by Bill Taylor's testimony thus far, Trump's real crime is refusing to delegate the entirety of U.S. foreign policy decision-making to a cadre of unelected career bureaucrats, deep state, senior executive service level, if you will, who think the Constitution gives them all power and authority to run the country." And that's exactly it. When you boil that whole mess down, his entire testimony, it was like, well, we know better than Trump. And can you imagine the audacity of the president not to listen to us? Not to take our advice, not to implement the policies we want? These are the same guys who got us in the mess. They were there when Obama was there. They're the same guys who got us in this mess, almost got us in a hot war with Russia in Ukraine over their policies, which is exactly what the deep state wanted. I mean, here's Bill Taylor's smoking gun testimony. Quote, "A member of my staff told me about a phone conversation that he overheard," end quote, "where President Trump did not seek our approval prior to talking to the president of the Ukraine." Oh, imagine that Trump should call this guy in Kiev and say, "Do I have your permission to talk to the president of the..." What? That's what this guy's saying. Pompous, arrogant, deep state, senior executive service snob. Then there was this other guy, George Kent, who testified. And he was the Deputy Assistant Secretary of State. He was asked about, well, what about Biden and Hunter Biden and this Burisma thing? He quote, says he has no idea what, if anything, was done as a result of concerns he expressed to Vice President Biden's office in 2015 about appearance of conflict of interest with Biden's son joining the board of Ukraine energy company Burisma amid corruption questions. And he went on. And this just blew up in Schiff's face. Quote, this is George Kent. Quote, "There are and always have been conditionality placed on our sovereign loan guarantees Ukraine." Oh. Conditions include anti-corruption reforms. Yeah, like that treaty that Clinton signed in 99 with Ukraine. Yeah. George Kent testifies that investigations into corruption involving Burisma and former Ukraine prosecutors are legitimate. And Jim Jordan, whether in Schiff's bunker and open hearings, this is what he says. Four facts will never change. 1, the call transcripts show no linkage of aid with corruption investigation. 2, President Trump and Zelensky both say there was no pressure. Number 3, Ukraine didn't know aid was held up at the time of the phone call in July of 25th. 4, Ukraine never took any action to get aid released. Taylor steps back when he's talking to Jordan, says his ability to serve in the position of this charge d'affaires was contingent on the administration's Ukraine policy meeting his standards. Yeah, deep state Taylor standards. I mean, right out in the open. His and other allegations are about a disagreement over policy. But unfortunately for Taylor, right? The president determines foreign policy, not unelected bureaucrats. Devin Nunes stepped in, quote, by undermining the president, who they are supposed to be serving. The FBA, Department of Justice, and State Department has lost the confidence of millions of Americans. This spectacle is doing great damage to our country. This is an impeachment process in search of a crime. Mark Meadows stepped in, reviewed all this, and he said, quote, to summarize what's happened, Bill Taylor, the Democrat star witness, has basically admitted today that he got virtually all of his hearsay from Gordon Sondland. We have Sondland in writing admitting, I think he was the ambassador to the EU, admitting he really didn't know what happened with Ukraine aid. This is an entire farce. Jim Jordan summed it up. And this from Zero Hedge. Today's public impeachment testimony in front of the House Intelligence Committee revealed that the Democrats' case against Donald Trump has more to do with foreign policy disagreements based largely on hearsay versus actual evidence of malfeasance. Jim Jordan, you didn't listen in on President Trump and Zelensky's call. Taylor, I did not. Jordan, you've never talked with the Chief of Staff Mulvaney. Taylor, I never did. Jordan, you've never met the president. Taylor, that's correct. Jordan, and you're their star witness? But toward the end of the hearing, John Radcliffe just summed it all up. With Taylor sitting there and George Kent sitting there, they're two star witnesses. He asked what in the phone call was an impeachable offense by President Trump. Both Taylor and Kent just sat silent, looked at each other, shrugged their shoulders, no response. There you go. Ron Paul, it's a kangaroo court. Dave Janda, it's a goat rodeo. Bottom line, the Constitution was shredded in that room. And our founders and our founding fathers and mothers are spinning in their graves. This is what the deep state is resorting to and how desperate they are in trying to remove President Trump. And it's failing. I hope you'll join us this Sunday, Operation Freedom, 2 to 5 Eastern. I hope you'll join us at davejanda.com. We upload free information, public information on a regular basis, but where the meat is with our subscription service. $9 a month, I believe one of the biggest bangs for the buck on all the internet. Great guests, great content, in-depth analysis, guests, and content you'll never get from the bought-off lamestream fake media. Join us at davejanda.com on the subscription site. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Thanks for your time today. Dream big and dare to fail.